has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
So I cannot get over. I just saw again for like the umpteenth time this missed call on that Darnold face mask last night. The fact that ref, the head ref and the other ref standing 20 feet to his left, that both of them were dead on watching that play, staring right at it. And then afterwards they ignored it, and let the clock, they did their stop the clock. They ignored it completely. They both stared and watched him have his head ripped off, and he literally grabbed the entire face mask and broke his neck, and that both of those idiots stood there. What an egregious fail. And that they are so pathetic. Honest to God, watch an NFL game and all it is, it's an abortion. The refs are the worst. I don't care what anyone says. I don't listen to Roger and all of his minions tell you the greatest refs in the world. They are the worst refs in all of sports. And then don't get me started on the NBA. The only refs that are decent at all are the NHL refs.
Agreed.
I think they do a decent job, but I don't have time for this. Let's get back into the college football. The NFL refs are hairdryer city. I mean, you guys are the worst. Do something else for a living. You suck at your job. All of you suck, every one of you. To a man, they're the worst. And in fact, I sit at games in Pittsburgh, and it takes an extra hour. Every game's now an extra hour. So we got to watch these buffoons deal with their crappy calls. I mean, it is the worst. All right, let's start with Illinois at Outson in Eugene, Cam, against the number 1 Ducks, laying 21 and a hook.
It's a lot of points. Oregon, they've looked fantastic. They could be there in the end, but I saw what Illinois did to Michigan. The defense is good. It's asking a lot for Oregon to win by 22. I have a lean to the Illini there. I know I'm taking a lot of dogs here, but that's a lot of damn points for a team that's playing pretty well.
They're 6-1. They got a quarterback. They got a defense. They got a line. They mean business. I like a shot with them at 21.5. Florida State and Miami. Miami laying 21 in some places, 20 and a hook in others. They hate them. They won revenge. They've been beaten by Florida State before, 45-3. That's what Miami wants to spread on them. Some more of that.
You're telling me, Scott, and this is the opportunity. When has Miami had a chance to absolutely slap around the Seminoles? It's been a long time. That number, they might win this game by 35. Florida State reeks. One of the biggest disappointments this year. I'm with you. Give me the Canes at minus 20.5, 21.
They need to beat their ass because they're that bad. So take it out on them and teach them a lesson. Missouri at Bryant-Denny in Tuscaloosa. Brady Cook is not playing in this game, allegedly, for the Tigers against the Tide. It's Alabama laying 17.5.
It's a lot of points, but can I take Missouri? They've been very disappointing the last few weeks. It's been hard to watch, actually. Alabama, get right spot. Yeah, I think they can cover 17.5. I think they'll win by like 21-24. Mizzou has really hit the skids.
Yeah, but then what do you talk about Alabama, how they've looked?
They're way better than Missouri, though, Scott. They're at home, too, in this game. Like, that spread is huge for a reason. Like, they're going to murder these guys. That's my opinion.
South Carolina and Tuscaloosa.
I know. No. I was on South Carolina that day when me and Ranieri were doing the show. I'm just saying, though, Missouri's they're doing nothing against bad teams. Like, I know, I get it. Alabama has not been good. But I'm telling you, at home, 17.5, I think they cover.
I'd stay away from that. I don't trust either one of them. LSU and A&M at Kyle Field in College Station, and A&M's laying 1.5.
I lean A&M here, Scott. Remember, this is the game where A&M at home absolutely destroyed Missouri. LSU and 8, we'll see. Now you got to go on the road. If you win this game at College Station, I'll bow down and say I was wrong. Give me Texas A&M to win this game. I think they can win by more than 1.5, by 3 or 4 or a touchdown. So I will be with the Aggies.
Heavy money on LSU from Sharps has been pouring in. The dogs have been barking in the SEC games this year. Look at this. Missouri getting 14. Oklahoma 21 and a hook. Mississippi State 6 and a hook. Vandy 18 and a hook. LSU 2.5. It's actually 1.5. Auburn 2.5 at Kentucky. Look at that. The Dogs are 22-9 against the spread in the SEC this season. That's crazy.
It is crazy. I don't know which dog's looking at that list. My favorite dog, I'd lean Vanderbilt against Texas. That's interesting. Other than that, I think some of the favorites are going to do pretty well this week. Maybe Auburn against Kentucky, but no, I'm going to give me Vanderbilt plus 18.5 against the Longhorns.
I mean, Stoops better beat Auburn because, he's going to lose every single game and keep that lofty paycheck of his in Lexington. Let's look at the overs. Big overs are underwhelming in college football this year. Under is 87-50, 64% in college games with totals of 60 or more points this season. Big totals this week, you see them right there. You saw last night, Pitt and Q, 62 and a hook. Boise and UNLV tonight, a big total. Tulane and North Texas. How about Baylor and Oak State at Stillwater? TCU and Texas Tech. That's going to be crazy, that total. And then CSU and New Mexico. So keep an eye out on those big totals. And the unders have been hitting underwhelming in college football. Yes.
That Pitt Cuse game didn't get the 62.5. So an interesting one. You know what I mean? Because the Cuse couldn't do their thing. And Pitt got 21 points with pick sixes, as you talked about. The one game that I love, Colorado State, New Mexico. They might hit 100.
Yeah, so the under in the Pitt game last night, the big overs have not been hitting. All right, let's look at the racks of ribs. We'll start with the first one, Nebraska and Ohio State, Washington, Indiana, Oklahoma and Oxford, BYU and Orlando against Central Florida, and Texas is in Smashville against Vandy. What do you like there?
Wow, these are tough games. I think it's too many points with Nebraska. I'd take the 25.5. I know it's at Ohio State and Columbus. Washington, Indiana, I like Indiana to win. It could be closer than that spread indicates, but I like the Hoosiers a lot. I would lean, you know what? Ole Miss might absolutely murder Oklahoma. Oklahoma's been brutal. They got dusted by South Carolina last week. I lean Ole Miss. BYU, Central Florida is a train wreck, plus 2.5, and Vanderbilt as a pooch, plus 18.5 there.
Yeah, I like Ohio State to kill Nebraska, Indiana to cover, Ole Miss to cover. I'm smelling something fishy with Central Florida because BYU is way better than them. And it was the same kind of smelly fish as that Old Dominion game last night. And Texas Vandy, everyone that goes to Vandy has been having problems. All right, rack of rib number 2, Penn State at Camp Randall in Madtown. Michigan State at the Big House, Kansas at Little Manhattan, SMU in Durham against Duke, and Cincinnati going to Boulder to see Prime's Buffs.
This is interesting stuff here. I'm gonna take Wisconsin plus the points against Penn State at home. They've been playing great. Michigan State and Michigan should be able to take care of Sparty. Kansas State, I will lay the 9.5 against Kansas. The Jayhawks have been horrible. Duke and SMU, this is a lot of points pass. And give me the Cincinnati Bearcats. Let's do the Bearcat 6.5 pause against Colorado.
You know, you got to have stones to take Wisconsin in the 6.5, but they've been playing great. This is their biggest game of the year. In Madtown, everybody's going to be hammered. Night game. I'll take a stab with them. Michigan's better than Michigan State, even though they both stink this year. I like K-State over Kansas easy in Manhattan. I think Duke covers at home against SMU. Cincinnati's played great. They may very well cover in Boulder against Colorado. When we come back, we'll do the last rack of ribs. Then we'll move into the NBA from last night and set you up with all the NBA on a Friday night. You get it all on C2C, baby.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play, and players win.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, with the Prime Minister, let's look at the last rack of ribs of college football games that we have for you on the board for Saturday. Here they are, Georgia Tech and Vatech in Blacksburg at Lane Stadium. Maryland's in Minneapolis against the Gophers. Texas Tech in Fort Worth against TCU. Washington State is going to Snapdragon in San Diego to take on the Aztecs. And Nevada's on the Big Island at midnight against Hawaii.
Yeah, I just got an air fryer. I think I'm going to put some ribs in there. You got me thinking. I'm just dreaming about ribs right now. Give me Virginia Tech at home in Blacksburg there. Georgia Tech, nah, not so much. I think they can cover that number. It seems a little bit big, but I still think they get there. Maryland, great win over USC in a comeback fashion last week. I'm looking at them plus 5.5, but Minnesota's a tough place to play. TCU and Texas Tech, lean with the Red Raiders. That is a very tough game. I like Washington State there to pummel San Diego State. Nevada, Hawaii. Got to take a shot with Nevada, the Wolfpack getting 1.5, Scott. This board, these are tough games. These ones, I like the second one the best. This is tough.
Yeah, I like Georgia Tech with the number. I think that's going to be a good game. I think Minnesota's going to handle Maryland. After I saw Northwestern go to College Park and beat their ass, I'm done with them. Texas Tech, I like that with that number against TCU. I think TCU's had an awful season. Washington State should beat San Diego State. The Aztecs are real average, but they're at home getting 14.5. That's too many points for me. And I like Hawaii to beat Nevada on the Big Island. I think Nevada will go out there and screw that up nice and juicy. All right, let's go to the NBA from last night and then get into tonight. The Mavericks beat the Spurs by 11 in Dallas. Luka had 28. 10 and 8 with his new haircut, a steal, and a block to go with it. Clay had 22 in his debut, including 6 3-pointers, and that's a Mavs debut record. CP3 had 3 points, 1 of 6 shooting, 7 rebounds, 8 dimes. I said he could hit 12 dimes with Wembanyama. 8's not that shabby. Here's Clay all day to hit another tray.
Nice defense. Thompson all day to fire. Not all day. He even took a dribble, and Luka started to run the other way.
on TNT there with Reggie and Kevin Harlan. Very exciting. The Thunder destroyed the Nuggets at the ball in Denver. It was surprising. 102-87. Not surprised that the Thunder won. Surprised that Denver had 87 points and got worked. Shai Gilgeous with 28, 8 times, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals. What a start to his MVP season.
I bet him. I bet him, Scotty. Oh, no, I'm with you, buddy. I think you join me with the Prime Minister, SGA MVP. Let's go. I think he's going to do it this year, Scotty. I'd love to have your support. Let's go.
Oh, I think he is as well, and I think they're going to the finals. Chet had 25, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks, 2 steals.
Amazing.
I mean, that's an unbelievable game from Holmgren. The Joker had 16, 13, and 12, a triple-double. All 5 Nugget starters in double figures, and they still got whacked. Here's Chet getting another block and a finish at the other end on TNT.
Another block. Chet Holmgren, the long arm of the law. Oh, look out! That's a man's jam for Holmgren.
Yeah, so bottom line is Holmgren is doing his thing. He's a badass. The T-Wolves got by the Kings at the Golden One in Sacktown, 117-115. I hit 3 of those 4 games last night for you on C2C. Randall, 33, 5 threes for Randall in his debut with the T-Wolves. 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Edwards had 32. Ant, 7 boards, 4 dimes, and a steal. Sabonis, DeRozan, Murray, all over 20 points for the Kings. Here's Ant driving to the 10 for the and one to put the Wolves up 102-99.
And a rebound, DiVincenzo. Wolves quickly the other way. Edwards slicing down the lane.
There you have it. Anthony Edwards, a badass as well. So those were exciting. How about the Celtics game? They beat the Wizards and covered 122-102. They were laying 13.5. They got it done in D.C. 34-19 third quarter to pull away from the Wiz. Brown had 27, 8 boards, 4 steals. Tatum, 25, 11, 6 dimes, and a steal. Poole had 26 and 4 assists, 4 steals, and a block for the Wizards. It doesn't matter what you have when you lose. We give you the stats, but it doesn't matter. You have a big game and you lose. It just doesn't matter. So DeJounte Murray is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks after undergoing surgery for that fractured hand. I've broken my hand before in 5 places. It's brutal surgery. You come out of it with your hand in a cast. You got to wear it for 6 to 8 weeks. It's no joke. And the Lakers, it looks like, will send Bronny down to the G League after they return from their upcoming 4-game road trip, as the G League camps will open then. And then he'll go back and forth to the big club all year long. Well, where he belongs, Cam, is in the G League, because he certainly doesn't belong on the big club because he's awful.
Yeah, no, you said it, Scott. Enough of this and the stories on this stuff. It's nauseating. Here's the deal. You want to cheer for the kid, you go to the G League, you get some experience, and then maybe one day you can get up. But he's not ready for big-time, prime-time basketball right now. That's for sure. Cares about your dad.
I mean, it is a soap opera with this whole, all in the family nonsense. I get
it's
it.
Stupid.
It's special. It's magical for them. And, frankly, only them. I think it's a big deal for their family, and God bless them. That they should enjoy every minute of it. It would be meaningful to anyone that had a father-son combo playing, like in baseball, the Griffies, whatever, or the Bonds.
Like you and your kid, right? Like imagine that, how happy you'd be if you guys were playing together. I get it, but you said it. It's about you. Looking at it externally in the world, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's about
nobody else cares. No one else cares. I don't care about that kid at all. And I think his game is ass. I really do.
Yeah. Oh, he's not ready for prime time. Not even close. That's the whole thing, Scott. It's not even close.
Carver High bet that he'd have a bucket, and I bet that he'd have 0. And that's what he got, a donut. That
0.
He wouldn't score. I don't know. I don't think his game's ready for the NBA.
Not even close.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
That kid on the two-point conversion play was wide open on the right side of the end zone, and the kid threw it about 15 rows over his head.
People crystallized Georgia and Alabama. They put them on the shelf above everyone else, and they're just not there this year. I thought the kid Beck was great on Saturday, but they barely beat Mississippi State, who is porous.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Let's take a look at tonight's action around the NBA. We'll go game to game. We'll start at Orlando with Brooklyn and the Magic. This one has Orlando laying 11.5 to the Nets. And I know that, I was watching this the other night. Cam Thomas coming off a 36-point game. The guy can fill it up. He took like 27 shots in their first game. They lost. They didn't cover. They lost by like 6 or whatever it was. But here they are going to see Banchero and the Magic down in Orlando. And this Banchero guy means business. He had 33 in their opening win at Miami.
I got to tell you, Scott, it looks like a lot of points here. But for me, Orlando, I laid 11 earlier. I think they're going to murder these guys. Brooklyn, nice effort in the first game of the year, but they're not a very good basketball team. I don't know how you feel about this one, but it seems like a lot. But I think Orlando might take these guys out to the woodshed tonight. So I would lay the heavy lumber with the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, I think so. But that Nets loss was to the Hawks in Atlanta.
Yes.
And in that game, Claxton had that dirty, cheap shot, taking that guy's head off in that game. It started a brawl. Let's talk about Philly and Toronto. I got to tell you, Toronto got smoked by the Cavs in the opener by 30. They looked awful. Now, I know their GM said they're in a rebuild, evidently, after that performance. And Philly lost because they played without Embiid, without Paul George, and I'm sure they're not playing tonight either. It's Maxey and company on the road in Toronto. I still think Philly's 5.5 better than Toronto.
I'm going to take the Raptors here, but a very small play. You're right. Cleveland absolutely took them out to the woodshed, and it is a rebuild. This team has got a lot of problems. Dick's going to be a lot better this year, but I'm going to say this, Scotty, the way to look at this game, I don't see a lot of defense here. 220, I think we can get there with the total in this game. So I lean over and I lean underdog, but I'll tell you, I'm not a homer with the Raptors. They got a lot of problems. It's a severe rebuild, but with all those guys out for Philadelphia, they might be able to keep it close.
Charlotte was unbelievable in their opening win. It was so stunning to me to see them the other night beat the Rockets at the Toyota Center in H-Town, and LaMelo Ball went off. He did it all. He had everything going. You name it, lob dunks. He was hitting threes. He hit 4 of them. He was dishing it around, getting rebounds, running the floor. I thought he looked fantastic. They're in Atlanta, and Ice Tray and company are laying 5.5 to the Hornets.
I got to tell you, Scott, this might be a public dog, but I love the Hornets. They're one of my favorite teams, actually. And you're a basketball maven. You know what you're talking about. Aren't they one of the grittiest teams? Like, even when they have no talent before, they were grinding and grinding and grinding. They're just a team that I like because they're men on that team and they play hard. I'm not laying any type of points with Atlanta. I think the Hawks blow. For me, it's Charlotte or nothing. And I just love the way they play. They try. And do you think it's too many points?
No, I think if they come out and play like they did the other night in Houston, no one saw it coming. If they give that kind of effort tonight in Hot Town, now getting them to go back-to-back road and play that hard is the issue. But if he gets going, because he doesn't like anyone to show him up, and Ice Tray is not going to have it. He's going to try to outplay Ball. And I think if you get a little game going between those two, that Ball could pull it off and cover the 5.5. Detroit is at Cleveland at 7:30. By the way, that Atlanta game's at 7:30. 7:30 in Cleveland. Detroit's getting 11 from the Cavs. The Cavs look fantastic in Toronto. I thought that game was in Toronto, right? Against Cleveland.
Yes, it was.
I think it was.
They got murdered.
Now they're home. I think they're going to do the same thing to the Pistons.
Pistons, they'll grind. It seems like a lot of points, but I'm with you. I think this Cavaliers team, like, we're just watching them play. They were fantastic in the game. They were missing guys, too. Like, they pummeled the Raptors. That game was not even close. It seems like a lot with 11, but I'm on Cleveland tonight, Scotty. They're a very dangerous basketball team. Detroit might cover some numbers, some big numbers this year, but I agree with you. I think Cleveland might blow them out.
All right, 7:30 at the world's most famous. You've got a really good one. Remember the playoff series between the Pacers and the Knicks. They're going to go at it again. The Pacers have already won a game, and the Knicks lost to the Celtics. They got blown out at the Garden in Boston. This one's in New York, and the Knicks are laying 4.5. Can Turner and Halliburton do it to the Knicks again?
I got to take the Pacers here, 4.5 with Indiana. The Knicks, it's going to take a while for them to gel. I'm going to take Indiana. Scott, I don't know how you feel about this game. You have the pulse. You're in New York, but I think the Pacers are the play.
I'm going to take the Knicks. They'll win when it doesn't matter. In the playoffs, when it mattered, they couldn't win, but they'll win this one and cover.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
That kid on the two-point conversion play was wide open on the right side of the end zone, and the kid threw it about 15 rows over his head.
People crystallized Georgia and Alabama. They put them on the shelf above everyone else, and they're just not there this year. I thought the kid Beck was great on Saturday, but they barely beat Mississippi State, who is porous.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
So we're going through the litany of NBA games tonight. We still got 5 to give you. Let's start at the Toyota Center in H-Town, where the Rockets, after their disappointing loss to the Hornets, are going to lay 3.5 to Memphis. And Memphis, I thought, Edey fouled out in 15 minutes. How embarrassing was his start for the Grizzlies? But Ja played great for him. You know he's going to go for it tonight against Green and company. I still like Şengün and the Rockets tonight at home to finally get things straight after that opening night performance.
I agree with you, Scotty. Also in this game, so I'm going to take Houston there. I'm going to take the over in the game. I don't see a lot of defense here. It seems like a total that we can get to in that game. So 225. Yeah, Memphis, Houston, give me the over and give me the Houston Rockets, please.
Do you think that Edey will perform better than that ugly 5-5 he put up?
Yeah, it was gross. I don't think he's going to foul out this time. He will be better as the season progresses. I know a lot of people have him for Rookie of the Year. It was a tough start, and that's what happens in the NBA. He's going to get a lesson in life, but I think he'll be a hell of a lot better. That was tough to watch.
All right, Lonzo Ball is playing again, and the Bulls are in Milwaukee at Fiserv, where I think they're going to get punched in the mouth. It's 9.5. The Bucks are laying to Chicago. Do you think the Bulls can hang with that number?
I was thinking about it. Now you got me thinking against it. Under 10, Milwaukee, the Bulls reek. Yeah, I'm with you, Scott. If Milwaukee's focus in this game and take care of their business, they should be able to win this game by like 20. But yeah, it's a high number, but I'd lean Milwaukee.
So Golden State, Steve Kerr loves this lineup. He loves his depth, and he gives a lot of guys burn. I mean, if you looked at their opener in Portland, every single guy played and scored and had minutes, and he just kept yanking guys in and out. They got a lot of talent. They're a lot different than the days with Klay Thompson, that's for sure. They're in Salt Lake tonight, Cam, taking on the Jazz. They're laying 6.5 to Utah. Is it too much wood? Markkinen had a big game the other night.
I love Markkinen. My buddy's from Finland. He got a Markkinen jersey. He gets all the Finland guys. It was killing me. I was like, wow, he's got like a Cleveland Cavaliers Markkinen jersey, a Jazz one. Anyway, I digress. I like the Jazz tonight, plus 6.5, 7. Scotty, I think we can keep this game very, very close. I think they can hang with GSW. I think they can win the game, so I'll definitely take the points with Utah. Tough place to play. I'll take the Jazz, please.
So, I mean, Ja beat them by a bucket, but they hung with Memphis in that game. So let's see if they can cover that number tonight against the Dubs. Not easy playing in Salt Lake, I'll tell you that much. 10 o'clock on ESPN, the Suns and Lakers, a pretty good game, at least it looks like that on paper. The Lakers are laying 1.5, 226.5 the number. I thought the Suns looked like the team that everybody thought they were going to be last year that they never were. The other night, they actually looked tough to me the other night at the Intuit Dome against the Clippers, winning in overtime. Durant and Beal had it all going. Booker barely did anything. Do you like the Suns' chances tonight against AD and LeBron at the Crypt?
I do. I'm going to take Phoenix tonight. That was a great game. The Clippers covered and the Suns won outright, so it was good news for everybody on the show. Clippers get the cover in their first game. I'm going to tell you, Scotty, I like the Suns tonight. I think everything you said is true. I think they beat the Lakers. The Lakers are better than people think, but I like Phoenix in this spot. I think they get it done. So give me the Suns.
So the Pelicans opened with a blowout win over the Bulls in New Orleans, and now they're in Rip City to take on the Blazers at the Moda, and the Blazers look pretty rough in their opener. New Orleans is laying 6. Can Ingram and company handle that one on the road? I think they can.
I think they can too. Like, I like to take dogs, but Portland looks awful. Man, they're a bad basketball team. So I think the Pelicans can go in there, win this game by 8 to 10, and just cover the number, Scotty. So I'm with you. Let's take a shot with New Orleans. I know they got Murray's banged up, but they'll be fine. They can beat Portland on the road.
All right, just so people can feel good about themselves in terms of Saturday, I'll tell you some of the games. The Clippers are in Denver at 5 o'clock East. Boston's in Detroit. Cleveland's at Washington. Miami's at Charlotte. Oak City at Chicago. Orlando's in Memphis. Toronto at Minnie. Houston's in San Antonio to see Wemby at 8:30. And at 10, Dallas is in the Valley against the Suns. And the Kings are at the Lakers on NBA TV Saturday night at 10:30. Just so you know, there are some decent games over the weekend. Let's talk hockey now. The Panthers went into Madison Square Garden and handled the Rangers 3-1 in a rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals. Lundell, Verhaeghe, and Bennett had the goals for the Panthers, and Bobrovsky made 24 saves. What'd you think of that performance by the Panthers? Big win over the Rangers. A lot of people think the Rangers can make it to the Stanley Cup Finals this year. Are you buying that?
It's going to be tough for the Panthers. It's really hard to do it, but that team, it was a spot for them. They weren't playing great hockey, and they took it out on the Rangers. Here's the deal. Bobrovsky played good, Scotty. On the fastest goalie to 400 wins. He beat the King Henrik Lundqvist's record. So congratulations to him. The Panthers are a very, very dangerous team. I like the Rangers. They signed Lafreniere today on a 7-year deal, taking care of their business with a young star. I like that move by the New York Rangers. But, yeah, I'm not sure if they can go to the Stanley Cup Finals. They always find a way to choke in the playoffs, just like the Leafs. But they might win the President's Trophy, though. That's a bet I think I would look at for the Rangers. They'll win a lot of regular season games.
They sent the tough guy Rempe down to Hartford, the guy that gets in all the fights. He's a monster.
Yep. He is a monster, but you know what? I think that's good for him. Come up, work on some things. I know you like to fight, but you got to work on the rest of your game. So I have no problem with them going down to Hartford. When he comes back, he'll be hungrier.
The Stars rolled the Bruins at the Garden in Boston 5-2. They had 4 unanswered goals, 3 in the second to take control of the game. Duchesne had a big game. Robertson, Stanhoven, Seguin, Hintz, all with goals for Dallas. They were in the Western Final, and they're tough again.
Scott, I'm going to tell you, I think the Dallas Stars could win the Stanley Cup. This is a team to me. I thought they could have done it. I know everyone talks about Edmonton. Look at these guys. Seguin, he's older, but Hintz is a monster. He got hurt last year. Stankoven, Rookie of the Year conversation. Robertson, one of the most underrated players in the league. Duchesne is good when he wants to. Sometimes he takes nights off. I'll tell you, this Dallas team's awesome. Hey, Swayman, he signed that big deal. The Stars peppered him last night. Dallas, very, very dangerous team and well coached.
Yeah, no doubt. Believe me, you bet on them, make money. That's a simple plan. The Blues beat the Leafs 5-1 in Toronto. Broberg and Holloway each with a pair. What do you think of the Blues going into Toronto and kicking their ass?
The Blues absolutely smoked the Leafs, and I'll tell you something, they're playing great hockey, overachieving right now. Leafs coach Craig Berube was the former Blues coach, and I got to tell you something. Wall started his first game for Toronto, ladies and gentlemen. He will be the number 2 goalie in Toronto. I'm going to tell you, that's what's happening. Stolars, Stanley Cup winner with Florida from the Jersey area. He will be the Leafs starter. He is a better goaltender, and watch out. They're going to be really angry in their next game. Take them. But St. Louis, Bennington stood on his head last night, made some huge saves, 40 in the win. The Blues are overachieving.
Yeah, no doubt. He was a difference, 40 stops. The Red Wings beat the Devils 5-3. Fisher, DeBrincat, Larkin, Kane, Rasmussen with goals. Do you think the Wings are tough?
The Wings are kind of a weird team. They're up and down. But I'll tell you one thing, the Devils, everyone talked about these guys, and I thought they would be better. Overrated. Still got it. You're letting in too many goals. That's the whole problem with this team. You got to tighten up, New Jersey. You might have some great players on the offensive side, but you're giving up too many goals, and that's not what it takes in the National Hockey League. You got to buckle down. Too much loose hockey with the Devils.
I bet the Wild last night at Amalie in Tampa, and they did it 4-2, 3 unanswered goals, 2 of them in the third period. Kaprizov had a pair of goals. Do you think the Wild are legit?
They kind of are legit, Scotty. They're one of those teams that win games. When it comes to the playoffs, they're done. They're not deep enough. Kaprizov is good. Boldy's good. Ekman, they got some good guys on their team, but still, it's a very tough Western Conference. Too many teams to beat.
How about the Canes last night? They scored the first 3 goals, and they caught the Flames sleeping at Saddle Dome and beat them 4-2.
Calgary's not that good. Trust me, as Prime Minister, I know. That's my brother's team. The Hurricanes are the real deal. They went on the road. They could have won that game by more than 2 goals.
One thing that's beautiful is that we still have more hockey to talk, whether you like it or not, because everybody loves hockey. Hockey!
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night, I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
That kid on the two-point conversion play was wide open on the right side of the end zone, and the kid threw it about 15 rows over his head.
People crystallized Georgia and Alabama. They put them on the shelf above everyone else, and they're just not there this year. I thought the kid Beck was great on Saturday, but they barely beat Mississippi State, who is porous.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
So the Avs won at Utah and kicked their ass 5-1. You think they're turning things around in Colorado?
Damn right, Scott. They've won 4 in a row. This goalie, Justus Annunen, .962 save percentage, so he's better than Georgiev. He's won his last 3 games, giving up only 4 goals. Colton McCarr, Middlestat, all these guys, man. They're a dangerous hockey team. Colorado has figured it out. That's bad news for the NHL.
How about the Jets? They win in overtime in Seattle 4-3. They haven't lost yet, Cam.
I know. I do my videos. You're like, hey, when I saw you on those videos, that guy I do my videos with, he's the biggest Jets fan in the world. Like season tickets he flies back to Winnipeg for games. This guy's losing it. He's going in his pants. He's so happy with this team. We'll see what they do come playoff time. But great starts for the Jets. All their veterans are stepping up, and you know they got great goaltending with Hellebuck.
Yeah, they look fantastic. I'm telling you what. The Kings hold off the Sharks in L.A. 3-2. They scored 3 in the first, then held on for the win. Granlund, both goals for the Sharks. Sharks coach Warsofsky says there are a lot of passengers on the team right now. First team in over 60 years to not win any of their first 8 games to start the season. So they played 8 games already?
Yeah, I got to tell you something, Scott. I bet the Sharks a couple times and no more. I'll tell you what, you got to give me 2.5 with the Sharks, not even plus 1.5. It's not good enough these days. This team reeks. They're brutal.
The Golden Knights signed Shea Theodore to a 7-year extension at $7.4 million a year. Vegas looks tough again. Connor McDavid said it's not even a question that Sid the Kid Crosby should be the captain of the Team Canada at the Four Nations face-off. You agree with that?
Yeah, big time. That's a classy move by McDavid, but Sidney Crosby is Team Canada. He's been there. He's the veteran, the elder statesman. Give him the C.
Penguins sent Tristan Jarry back home to Pittsburgh because he sucks. They're on their Western swing. I can't stand him. Honestly, I think he's awful. The reason why the Penguins are so bad, it's been going on since they won the Cup. Back-to-back cups in 16 and 17. Ever since then, they've had terrible goaltending, including this guy. I've never liked him, and I never will.
No, Nedeljkovic is the old Carolina goalie, I think, is taking the starting role there, Scotty. He's better. Jarry's so inconsistent, he could stand on his head, but, man, he lets in loose goals a lot.
All right, so let's look at the best and worst NHL money lines. Do we have that? Here we go. Look at this. The best money line teams in the NHL this season. Yes. Flames, Jets again last night. That's even more units. Caps, they've been winning lately. Beat the Flyers back-to-back. Jackets, Rangers, look at them, 5-1. Avalanche have been getting hot. So these are the worst teams. Avs, Flyers, Oilers, Preds, and Sharks. the Predators with a brutal start, but they finally won, and they think they're going to turn it around. Let's look at the best over-under teams in the NHL. Best overs, the Knights, Panthers, Penguins, Avs, etc. Best under, Stars, Oilers, Canes, Senators, etc. What do you think of those, Cam?
I'm going to tell you something. The Penguins, good overs because you talk about their goaltending. Another sneaky team. I watched the Blue Jackets slap around the Leafs. People thought they're the worst team in the league. They're actually scoring goals and giving up goals. So, yeah, they are an over team. Under teams, watch for the Canucks to tighten up things there. And the Sharks, they can't score. So they'll lose games like 4-1, 3-1, 4-0. So, yeah, they're a good under team, Scotty.
All right, let's look at the Eastern Conference odds as they stand right now. Panthers on top of the Rangers and Leafs, and then somehow the Devils are over the Canes and others.
Yeah, I'm looking there. The Leafs, I'm expecting better things. There's still too much loose hockey. The Rangers at +50, interesting. The Devils, I just can't buy in at that price at 6-1. The Hurricanes might be lingering at 650, but they gag in the playoffs. For me, I look at that board, it'd be, the chalk, Panthers or Rangers.
All right, let's look at the Western Conference odds as they stand, and you see who it is. What's your reaction? Because I'm not on the Oilers. I'm on Dallas.
Me too. Dallas, I think, is better than the Edmonton Oilers all around. If you're looking for now, the Predators, not a bad number at +850. I think they're going to turn it around, but I like the Stars the best in the West.
All right, let's look at tonight. Ottawa's in Vegas, and that game starts in 10 minutes, believe it or not. It's a 3 o'clock start at T-Mobile in Sin City, so everyone can get drunk in the afternoon. Vegas -145, 6.5 to total.
I don't know. I kind of leaned with the Senators. Good call, Scotty. And then you got the UNLV game tonight. So people in Vegas getting lubricated with the 6 Eastern start there. I will take a shot with the Senators as a pooch and maybe the over in that game. I could see goals.
Yeah, I like Vegas. Islanders at the Rock against the Devils at 7. Jersey's -1.25. 6 is the total.
Devils lost to the Wings last night. I'm expecting a bounce back. Islanders play tight games, but I like the Devils tonight. Very tight. Wouldn't be surprised if it even went to overtime or they won by a goal.
8:30 at the United Center. Nashville's -175 against the Blackhawks.
Parlay material. I'll lay 1.5 with Nashville. They're figuring it out. The Blackhawks are still a long way to go. Bedard, they're good young talent on that team, but the Predators need wins, and I'll take them tonight.
Penguins are at Edmonton. The Oilers are -225.
Over Edmonton on the puck line. Your goaltending is deplorable, but the Penguins will score against the Oilers. Skinner can let in goals too. Over.
All right, so tomorrow at 1 o'clock, the Red Wings are in Buffalo. Sabres -145. Minnesota's at Philly at 1 o'clock. Minnesota's -130. At 4 o'clock, Utah at LA. Kings are -145. 7 o'clock, Toronto at Boston at the Garden. It's a pick-em. 7 o'clock, St. Louis at Montreal at the Bell Center. Blues are -120. 7 o'clock, Washington at Tampa. Tampa's -160 at Amalie. Washington's been playing good, I'll tell you what.
They have.
The
They're
Ducks
good.
are at the Rangers. Rangers -3. Bills at 7 o'clock at the Garden. 7 o'clock, Winnipeg and Calgary. Jets are -140. 7:30, Florida and the Islanders at the racetrack. Florida -1.25 against the Isles. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Columbus at Nashville. Nashville's -250. 8 o'clock, Chicago at Dallas. Dallas -345. 10 o'clock, Pens are in Vancouver. Vancouver's -178. 10 o'clock, San Jose at Vegas. The Knights are -305. And 10 o'clock, Carolina at Seattle. And the Canes are -145. Just to give you some flavor on the Saturday action in the NHL, it never ends. When we come back, we'll do leftovers and the Ferrall finish. You get it all on a pain-free Friday C2C, baby.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
That kid on the two-point conversion play was wide open on the right side of the end zone, and the kid threw it about 15 rows over his head.
People crystallized Georgia and Alabama. They put them on the shelf above everyone else, and they're just not there this year. I thought the kid Beck was great on Saturday, but they barely beat Mississippi State, who is porous.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Great job by the Prime Minister today, filling in for Carver High. As busy as he is running the country, to take time away to talk sports gambling is just a fantastic thing. So thanks to Cam Stewart. You can catch him tonight doing Sports Rage at 10 East. South Florida basketball coach Amir Abdur-Rahim leads off the leftovers. He died Thursday at 43 years old due to complications of a medical procedure he was undergoing. Jesus H. Christ, what happened there? The guy's 43 and he's dead? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Francis Ngannou says that Dana White's the only one who's in the way of a fight with John Jones, and no way that he would make more money in the UFC because they still owe him from the last two fights. UFC 308 tomorrow in Farella, Abu Dhabi. The featherweight title, Topuria versus Holloway. And then the middleweight fight is Whitaker against Chimaev. No one cares about anything else. What's the deal at the Zozo Championships, Cam?
Well, Scotty, we got Nicho Echeverria. Hey, how we doing? It's party time, but I got to tell you, I got a bet for you. Novocaine. Andrew Novak, live 35-1. And me and Carver's buddy Eric Cole, not the former Carolina Hurricane, in the mix. Watch out for him at 12-1.
So Justin Thomas is 2-back.
Yes.
Taylor Moore as well. Seamus Power 3-back with CT Pots and Pans. Ricky in the mix. 4 off the lead. Any of them going to do anything this weekend?
I got Ricky for a top 25 with the picks with Carver. I think he'll finish top 10 or 20, but I don't think he can win, Scotty. If he does, I'll be shocked.
So when the Zozo's over, when does the next round of tournaments start back up? I knew Carver High said it's like a few weeks away, right?
Yeah, I think we got a couple more, Scotty. Then we take a break, and then they start off in Hawaii with the Sony and the Century Tournament of Champions. Golf never sleeps. These guys love money.
All right, so Farella finish time. Phil Lesh, founding member and bassist for the legendary Grateful Dead, is dead at 84. I got to tell you, I went to see the Grateful Dead, Cam at Sphere, and it just blew my mind.
Awesome?
It was awesome. The Dead and Company with John Mayer. It was so much fun. I went with my son. I had a blast. I went one night. I could have gone to 2 more. I mean, I know people that have gone to 4 and 5, 8, 10 shows there because they played like 30 shows. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was just phenomenal. That building is a freak show. And seeing John Mayer play with the Dead,
that guy's he's good,
phenomenal. Phenomenal.
No, he's a wicked artist. I said Deep Purple. Morency was talking about, I got a spot at BMO too where the Argos and TFC play. I hide booze as well. I found a great spot because they line it up with pylons. I got a special pylon and a place where I hide my stuff when I come out of shows too, Scotty. Got to have a plan.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
that is just utterly fantastic. Former Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, and I saw this chick, Smoke Show, says that Donald Trump allegedly groped her to show off to Jeffrey Epstein at the Trump Tower in the 90s. She waited till 2024 to tell the story 2 weeks before the election. Nice timing. 200 teens in a New Jersey brawl at a haunted hayride last weekend forced the organizers to shut down the said hayride. All of the young hooligans started throwing haymakers at the hayride.
They have a hay maze where I am, Scotty, and apparently 100 people called the cops. They had panic attacks and freak out. Let me out! So they're like, we have to cancel this stuff. It's like an escape room. You can't leave. People went nuts.
And haunted houses. Famous war photographer Paul Lowe allegedly stabbed to death by his 19-year-old son on an LA hiking trail. How lovely to have your son chop you into pieces while you're off on a hike together.
Never go on a hiking trail. Lots of murders there. People get pushed off cliffs.
Left 10 attendees of a North Carolina mountain event with facial swelling.
What do you think? You're going to mess with a bear?
Little bear meat for dinner and then having your face blow up. The Dodgers will have a deep fried peanut butter and Nutella sandwich for the World Series. What could be worse? I hope everyone gets diarrhea. Francesca Eastwood arrested in Beverly Hills on suspicion of felony domestic violence. Don't mess with Clint Eastwood's daughter, apparently. The Menendez brothers. It looks like they're going to get out of jail after serving 35 years for blowing their parents' heads off. Of course, the father allegedly raped both of them multiple times, allegedly. And now a judge will make a decision. Not the parole board. A judge will make the decision. GTD is next. Go to FerrallOnEvents.com. There's exciting things going on there. Mafia knows it's true.
Yes.
Cam, you're a badass. Thanks. Everybody have a great
Love you,
weekend.
buddy.
We'll see you Monday at 3 on Coast to Coast.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
Won the Saudi Open on the Asian Tour in April, and he won the International Series event in Macau in March, beating David Puig in a playoff. Here's a man with 9 career wins, 3 of them on the DP World Tour. 33 years of age from Sacramento, and he is making the most of his chance.
I remember John Catlin playing as a reserve for Charles Howell III, who's injured. If he were to go on to win this, he gets those points. That would move him right at the top 24 number. Move him at 20th currently. Yeah, another beautiful shot. These guys make this look so easy.
Tyrrell having a day. The Englishman 6 under par. He shares the lead with Abraham Ancer for the time being at least. Now this is Abraham Ancer to stay at 7 under and in all likelihood have the open night lead, and that is wonderfully done. Abe Ancer with a 64.
This is what Live Golf's about, man. I had a vision of this 2-3 years ago, seeing what the potential could be, and this is just the start. I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.